Hey everyone, welcome back to Lyndy Studio, and today I'm here to review Heartland Season 18, Episode 8. It is called Throwing Your Hat in the Ring. And overall, I thought this was a good episode, definitely better than some of the previous ones that we've had. I thought there was some good drama in it, some good storylines, and also a good setup for the next two episodes of the season. And obviously the last two as well. It's crazy because I've had such mixed feelings on this season. On one hand, I think it's really entertaining and I like all the drama, but on another hand, I feel like not a whole lot is happening each episode. And maybe I'm only thinking that because it feels like Nathan and Amy are like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or more like 1 step forward, 2 steps back. That's just the way it feels like with them. So it's kind of almost hard to see any progress. But I hope that at the end of this episode, they're finally on that right step, and then we'll see more steps in future episodes and hopefully no steps back, because it is a bit tiring at this point just to see the constant back and forth between them. So I'm hoping that this is the last. I hope last episode was the last backward step that they took, and now it's only gonna be forward steps is my hope. But basically this episode focuses on Heartland Beef selling burgers at the farmer's market, but Price Beef is also there, but they're giving out their burgers for free. So, Lou, always with the competitiveness to her, she decides Heartland's going to give out full meals for free. So this makes Heartland Beef look better in the public light, but of course they didn't make any money off of their food because they all gave it out for free. So they didn't make any money, but I guess this is good for them, I guess, for the public eye. So I guess they probably won in that regard. But the main drama here is Lyndy going missing, and Nathan ends up being the one to find her. And I did like the Nathan and Lyndy scene, and it's kind of like that classic trope, the hero coming in to save the little child and winning the family's heart. It was a classic trope. I thought it was done really effectively, and I like that they're spending time building the relationship between Nathan and Lyndy too. Because I think if they didn't, then that wouldn't really work long term for their relationship. Because I think Lyndy deserves to have a father figure in her life, and I think Nathan's a good option for her. So I'm glad that they're spending time developing that. So I like that scene, and I've said all this season I started off liking Lou and the business mode she was in, and then she just became way too pushy about Amy and Nathan trying to break them apart. And now this episode, I actually didn't mind her as much because I felt like she was just doing business. That was basically all she was doing. There was really nothing personal about it. So obviously there was lingering feelings attached, but I do feel like she was just trying to do the best for the business, which I can respect that more. I did feel like Amy was a bit harsh on Lou about blaming her for Lyndy going missing. I think first of all, she shouldn't have gone there in the first place. Doesn't she have a sitter? There's that, and also it's the whole family's responsible for her going missing. It's not just Lou. But minor detail there. But, I liked all the farmer's market stuff. I like the Jack and Tim bantering. We still don't know if Tim's going to take that job or not. I'm going to assume he won't. We've already seen the storyline that happened before where he got offered to coach in Texas and then he turned it down. So I have a feeling it's going to be the same, but you never know. I don't know. It depends, I guess, if the actor wants to leave the show. If he does, or he wants to be involved less, then maybe he'll take that job and that'll be a storyline. But we also have Shane showing up for a visit. He's been offered a job in Philly as a law firm, or was it Philly? I don't even remember exactly where it was, but it's this great job, and he's stopping by for a visit before things get busy. And then in the middle of the farmer's market, he passes out because he finds out his wife is pregnant. So then Tim encourages him to put family first, as being a hands-on father only comes around once. That was a great scene, and it just shows how far Tim has come. So Shane turns down the job to focus on him and Chloe and their marriage and their future family. So I thought that was a great storyline overall, and I loved Tim learning from his mistakes and kind of using the mistakes in a way to help Shane. I thought that was like a great moment between them, and it's always nice to see Shane. I like how they've incorporated him back into the family and that it doesn't feel awkward anymore. He's just automatically part of the family. It's very heartwarming for sure. And then there's like these two lesser storylines. For starters, after the farmer's market, we do see Jack go over to Nathan's and says maybe it's time we put an end to these beef wars. Nathan's not quite ready to let it go, though. And then Amy shows up thinking, Jack is going to create drama, but she realizes he's just coming over to try to make peace. I do think it's kind of too little too late. I mean, after everything that's happened, mostly with Lou, it is a bit much just to be like, yeah, let's just end this. I understand why Nathan would be apprehensive about that. But then Nathan Sr. invites Amy to stay over for dinner, and then we see the three of them eating together. So, I mean, that was a nice ending. Again, hopefully putting them on the right track. We also have this storyline with Logan doing a horse clinic, but only one person shows up. This was interesting, and I'm not the biggest Logan fan, but I surprisingly liked his storyline this episode. He is working with this guy named Riley and his horse Axel, and it's just one of those classic Heartland horse problems, trying to figure out what the problem is, but this time Logan's taking charge and Amy's kind of observing. We find out that apparently there is like this really nice saddle that the horse had, but then Riley and his wife had to sell it because they were struggling with money. So then he had to get him a less quality saddle, and then he doesn't like it. So that's the main problem. And basically Logan helped him out. There's like this other subplot with Riley and his wife and their money troubles, and he wants to go back to school, but because he doesn't want to move in with her parents. Personally, I felt like if they were actually going to do something, they should have actually made a storyline out of it. It kind of felt like, why even do that if they weren't going to go anywhere with it? Through and through, I did like Logan connecting with someone, though, and he was definitely less annoying this episode than, the whole thing with Miley and just being negative and complaining. So, I liked it overall, but I just feel like they introduced too much. This character, Riley, had too much going on for him to barely have, like, an overall role, I guess. Like, I felt like most of the characters they bring in, they don't have a big backstory, but for some reason this guy did. So I just felt like it was kind of awkward. But I like seeing Logan become more confident in himself. It's a nice change from what we've seen of him. And it sounds like he's going to be off doing the cult starting. So, I mean, maybe that's his way out of the show. I could see that. I'm not going to be super upset about that. Hasn't been my favorite this season. But the other character that seems to be heading out of the show is Katie. Because this episode, she apologizes to Jasmine. But Jasmine says, we can't be friends because you lied to me. But also wishes her good luck on her writing. And then Katie tells Lou she just really wants to move to Vancouver to get a fresh start. So it maybe sounds like Katie's moving on. I mean, what I will say is that this season, even the actress who's played Katie has kind of had a different vibe. Like, I almost wonder, is she considering leaving Heartland? Because in seasons 16 and 17, the actress seemed really interested in the material she was given, and the character kind of shined, but this season, not as much. And maybe it's because I wasn't a fan of the storyline. It was just kind of boring to me, just like with Logan, which is a bummer because I really want to like these teen characters because that's always been a part of the show, but I'm just not this season. The storylines haven't been that good in my opinion. But we'll see. I could definitely see her moving to Vancouver. I mean, it would be an easy way to do that if the actress wanted to leave, but I also just feel like why spend so much time on Katie if she's just going to leave? Like, I don't know. I mean, with Tim, it kind of makes sense. He's in and out already. He would be easy to explain. But Katie's been so central to the plot that I have a hard time believing she would leave, but we'll have to wait and see. Overall, this was a good episode. Definitely had more going for it than like the previous several. I would say this might have been my favorite since the rodeo one. So I'm looking forward to the final 2 episodes. So thanks everyone for listening. Comment down below what you thought of this episode, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye everyone.